Crime can happen anywhere, and it's an unfortunate fact of life that staff working in a busy pub or club will at some time have to deal with an incident in which they have to make an intervention or notify the emergency services so that they can help a victim or investigate a crime. How you react to the incident could have a strong bearing on whether or not a successful investigation can take place.
Yes, Maggie?
Have you seen that guy over there? One talking to Jasmine?
No, he's new, isn't he? Why, what's the problem?
Well, she hasn't been here that long, and I don't think she's had that much to drink, but she doesn't look right.
A crime scene can be recognised as the location where an illegal act took place, but it may also relate to the person who is the victim of the actual crime which is being committed. The characteristics of a crime scene are the particular or typical features that are commonly associated with a specific crime or scene. This could relate to the offender themselves, especially where someone repeatedly commits the same crime, as they frequently use the same tactics, or the same mode of operation.
Come in. Let's get you home, mate.
Do you think she's okay?
No, she doesn't look too good, does she? Let's check it out.
Here we are. Up, see ya. Hey, there she goes. Here we go, just wait.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hi, Jasmine. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, she's fine, mate. I'm just taking her home.
Oh, yeah, and where's that?
I don't know, we've only just met. Gonna get in a taxi though, eh?
Yeah, okay, but she doesn't look too good, does she? Let's see what she thinks about that.
Jazz, are you feeling okay?
I feel really tired.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay, it's okay.
Jasmine, have you taken anything?
All right, mate. Step over here, we need to have a chat.
Hey?
Come here. So what's she been drinking tonight?
I don't know, mate. She was like that when I arrived. She could have took anything.
Maggie, best call an ambulance. She might have been given something. Oi, what'd you drop there?
What are you insinuating? I ain't dropped nothing. Get your
Right,
hands off
calm
me.
down. Stay there. Maggie, ask for the police as well, will you? I think they're going to need to speak to this chap.
I ain't speaking to nobody, all right?
Yeah.
It's not my fault she can't handle her booze. It's nothing to do with me.
Common
we'll see.
characteristics of a crime scene may include such things as bloodstains or splatters at the scene of a violent crime, evidence of drugs, fingerprints, or the actions of victims or witnesses. Recognising the characteristics of a crime scene can help identify the steps to be taken to protect the scene, but you must remember that whatever your role, you must always ensure your own safety and the safety of others when preserving the crime scene. Once you've identified that you might have a crime scene, you need to implement a lockdown. A lockdown means just that. You need to close the scene off in order to preserve life and ensure that things which may have evidential value are not moved, removed, destroyed, or contaminated. The contamination of a crime scene can have disastrous effects on successful prosecutions of offenders, as it could mean that valuable evidence cannot be used, or if it is used, that the prosecution cannot prove its full worth. A common contamination involves a victim coming into contact with the suspected offender after the crime has been committed. This gives the offender the opportunity to claim that evidence, their DNA or fingerprints are only found on the victim because of that later contact and may raise the element of doubt that prevents prosecution. The same effect is created if the suspected offender is allowed to re-enter the crime scene. Similarly, care should be taken that those people engaged in detaining a suspected offender also do not re-enter the crime scene or come into physical contact with any victims. Most people know that fingerprints, hair, blood samples and DNA are classed as forensic evidence. It must be understood that the collection of all types of evidence must be completed properly and securely, which means that every precaution needs to be taken to ensure that evidence is not contaminated. For example, consider the evidence contained in and on a glass used to drug a date rape victim. This can easily become contaminated if people are not aware of the need to protect it as soon as possible. Try to lock down the crime scene as early as possible, as valuable evidence can be lost in minutes. When evaluating the forensic potential of a scene and to assist you in taking appropriate steps to preserve evidence, you should remember the following 4 tasks. Number 1. Observe the scene. What can you see, hear, smell, or feel? Never taste anything. It could be poisonous. Number 2. Make a note of whatever you find and do. Use whatever comes to hand to allow you to make a written note of your discoveries and actions. Mobile phones can be useful tools. Number 3. Preserve any potential evidence. Do not move or remove it. Number 4. Communicate with the professional services. Including when they arrive, you need to tell them what you have found and done. The 3 simple rules for scene preservation are: do not add, alter, or remove anything.
As I told your call taker on the phone, we think one of our customers has had her drink spiked, or she's been given something that's made her ill. She's already been taken to hospital. She was with that man over there, and when we challenged him, he dropped this.
Okay.
Jasmine was sick over there, so we have cordoned off the whole area so no one has interfered with the scene and the drinks haven't been taken.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's right. Remember, to preserve evidence, you must try to prevent movement of exhibits and additional material being added. When the police arrive, tell them what you have seen and what you have done in as much detail as possible. And never forget the value of CCTV, photographs, and telephone technology.
Okay, thank you. Right, if you'd like to come with me, we're going to take you out of the building.
You're going to hear from my lawyer, you are?
Come on.
Silly. I'm big misunderstanding this.
Putting the skills and knowledge relating to crime scene preservation into practice will require records to be kept. When you take charge of a crime scene, responsibilities become your concern. The reason for making a record of an event is to safeguard yourself or your place of work against any repercussions in the future, and also if someone makes a civil claim for compensation. Incident reporting is good practice and looked upon favourably by the police. We recognise that the police and emergency services as the professionals in relation to crime scenes and associated procedures. So when should you call the police? The following is the recommended policy of when to call the police and emergency services. If the person concerned asks you to. If it is a serious injury. If it is a violent assault. If the suspect is still at the scene. If you feel that the situation requires the police and emergency services. For more information about crime scene management, visit the National Pubwatch Good Practice Pub at www.nationalpubwatch.org.uk. Or if you would like information about the BIIAB's Level 2 Award in Crime Scene Preservation, visit www.biiab.org or contact BIIAB's qualification team at qualifications@bii.org.